Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Tuesday. I promised I would talk about the Steam controller and give it an official review, and that's just what I'm going to do. Ultimately, it's a pretty good controller. It has more features than I thought it did when I first unboxed it and played around with it on my laptop. There are some things I would like to change about it. The fact that there's two stages to the trigger buttons, like there's a soft pull and a full pull, that can be kind of, I don't want to say irritating, inconvenient maybe, especially when you're using it as a mouse emulator. Ultimately, it's a pretty good controller for games themselves. Whether you're using it for a mouse-based game or a gamepad-based game or anything like that, it tends to be a pretty good controller. Another thing I'd like to change about it would be the right pad, how one of the prototypes had circles around or inside it. I talked about that when I unboxed it, and I still think it would be a good idea, or at least maybe smaller ridges than what was shown in the prototype. Something smoother but still noticeable when playing a game and you're not looking straight down at the controller. One thing I'd also like to change about, not about the controller, but about the software. Well, two things actually. You're not able to change the controller setup for a particular game unless you're using Steam Big Picture, and you're also not able to use the Steam Big Picture keyboard unless you're on Steam Big Picture. I would really like for them to add the functionality for the keyboard. Heck, I'd like to add for them to add the functionality for both, being able to change the controller input on the fly, and the keyboard on the desktop itself. I think both of those would be really cool. They'd certainly help with people who want to use their computer, say on the couch or something like that, where far away from the mouse and keyboard. I think that'd be really cool, really useful. Other than that, yeah, I'm glad that I bought the controller. There are some bad things about it, but ultimately I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad I have it now. At some point, it's hard to get some games that aren't part of Steam to work with the controller. For example, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's not. I'm sure it's not impossible for me to get the Steam controller to work with it, but it's really freaking difficult. And so far, I've only been using the 360 controller for that. Which, going back and forth between the Steam controller and the 360 controller, that is interesting. Difficult, maybe. But yeah. If I had to give it a score from 1 to 100, I'd say 85, maybe 90, maybe 4.5 stars out of 10. There are some things I do want to change. If they ever, which they probably will, but if they ever release a version 2 of the Steam controller, I don't know if I'd buy it, but it'd be interesting to see what they add, what they take off, what they add, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. It's 8 o'clock in the morning now, so, and I didn't even go to work today. I'm just sitting up because that's part of my sleep schedule now. Hooray! Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, I'll see you all later.